Fallout is in a weird position currently. On paper, it's succeeding, reliving its glory days and rising back in relevance. But in reality, a lot of people, including me, are not satisfied with what's happening to the franchise. A beautiful story about human nature and our ability to rebuild and destroy has been flanderized into a generic critique of capitalism delivered by a corporation. Looking at the newer titles and the show specifically, it's very clear that the focus of the series has long shifted into something else. The new media is trying so hard to match an aesthetic. Everything is trying to match an aesthetic. The visual identity of the series went full-blown retrofuturism towards the 50s and 60s idealism in an attempt to deconstruct it and look marketable, because damn sure the average guy isn't buying something that looks like this. The tone also follows the quirkiness of retrofuturism, for the sake of mostly unfunny humor, and the narrative matches that aesthetic by showing late-stage corporate greed in capitalism because that sounds appealing to the modern audience. These people completely miss the point of Fallout in its creative choices by grabbing a surface level element and basing the whole identity of the new games around it. And it worked! Fallout 4 sold more than all the other games combined, despite the clear downgrades in narrative, dialogue, and mechanical depth, as well as the extreme divergence from Fallout visual identity. That divergence is the reason every gun looks ridiculous. After all, we gotta be different from these COD games, right guys? Now, to be fair, Fallout 4 introduced many people to the franchise because it looked nice and kinda played nice and was easy on the eye. And yeah, the reason Fallout is like this now because looking interesting and sounding interesting without any substance makes people buy your product nonetheless, at least until Fallout 76 dropped. And the show doesn't shy away from pushing this further. The Brothers of Steel massive presence alone in the first season tells a lot. They're there just to show off power armor, because Fallout is one power armor. Even the producer's pick of the power armor model is so damn careless. Since when there's T60 in the West Coast? You could have scaled down the Brotherhood of Steel in the first season to 20 people in a vertebrate and nothing would have changed in the narrative. Shady Sands also got nuked so they could have some cheap escalation. And that's the Boneyard location, mind you. Every time I point that out, the same Redditors tell me that Shady Sands also changed location in Fallout 2, which boils my blood. Surely changing a place from nowhere to nowhere is the same as overlapping two distinct settlements, right? But enough of that. This also extends to the old world scenes, which are fairly interesting and mostly well made, but still diverge from the original vision for the sake of aesthetics. Instead of the new plague, the quarantines, the food lines, the protests, and the massive unemployment, just like real life, we see an idealistic 1950s America with a dark side. And this focus on surface level aesthetics shines even more in the second season, because at least the first one attempts at having some originality, even though it's not good. The second season is just a key jangling mess. I mean, look at this. Oh, look, it's the Strip. Oh, look, it's the NCR. Oh, look, it's Fisto. Oh, look, it's the Legion. Oh, look, it's Robert House. Oh, look, it's Novak. Okay, cool. And then what? We know what these factions are. We know what these locations are. We know their history, ideologies, and motives. What does the second season offer new? What does it develop new on these things? Barely anything. These things feel like toys for the writers to play with. Generally, every time the plot gets boring, they bring in something from the games. There's nothing inherently wrong with doing that, but the way it's done is so insulting to the fans. It feels like a 14-year-old making a fanfic. Personally, I think one of the reasons the second season does this is because looking at Fallout New Vegas pictures on Google is easier than doing so for the classics. The writers saw the settlement images on Google and changed it a bit to suit their needs, completely disregarding the reasons why these locations are the way they are. To understand that, it would require actually playing the game, something these people and those like them are allergic to. But who could blame them? The toxic positivity from all the major Fallout creators giving this a 9 and calling it a faithful adaptation is enough to make them continue. And honestly, the show feels like what an outsider who has only seen TikTok edits and heard about Fallout and Reddit forums think Fallout is. And the Enclave is the best example of this. How are they still that relevant after their two main command structures collapse? Only the edits makes you think so.
The only way for true humans and democracy to be safe is to cleanse the mutants from the globe. We humans will take back that which is rightfully ours. Humans will prevail.
And now somehow the Enclave is the mastermind behind the end of the world. They are the reason. Capitalism is the reason. You see, people, one of the best things about Fallout is that the question of who dropped the bombs was always trivial, because it doesn't matter. If it wasn't America, China would have pressed the button. If it wasn't China, America would have pressed the button, making the Enclave the secret evil elite group who nuked the world and bought the technology that would have let the USA win the war and dominate China without invading their mainland by making them energy dependent and abusing their labor. Only so what? They could hide it and use it after trillions of dollars worth of infrastructure and industrial power that used to power their capitalist machine get wiped out? What are they gonna use it for? And the thing that pissed me off is that the depiction of the Enclave is just contradictory. You mean to tell me the masterminds who planned all of this forgot to factor in the resources and logistics in the oil rig, which forced them to come out eventually and go rogue against the original show plan and decided to wipe out the world with the FEV, and now they're doing whatever they're doing in Colorado or Utah or whatever state they're in? And should I mention the Legion? They feel like they're written for Redditors specifically. The way they are portrayed is very surface level and straight up bums. They're so stupid and incompetent. Out of any way they could have explored the Legion collapse, they choose the dumbest one. I'm not asking them to show the Legion after the collapse as a competent and based faction, but at least show that these people are not brain dead zombies. Legionaries in New Vegas are disciplined, ruthlessly intelligent, and extreme. Being a guapist doesn't make you stupid, it makes you a bad person. The worst people on this earth are not stupid. Treating intelligence as a trait of goodness is not a sign of a morally correct writing. And yes, I know, the show depicts intelligent people as evil, mostly because they're capitalist. But the Legion is different because they are misogynistic and genuine piece of shit. To appeal to people, they had to make them stupid. New Vegas narrative understood that these are genuine monsters, but it still displays their competence and ruthless intelligence, which what made them very fascinating faction. And no, I'm not endorsing them, and I never did a full Legion playthrough in my 844 hours in New Vegas, but I respect the writer's decision not to make them just evil, unlike the show, and it's honestly delusional. You could still acknowledge that they managed to carry the discipline and toughness that made the Legion powerful under Kaisar, while showing their division and decline by their disagreements and confusion under the lack of unified leadership. It's a mess. It tells the new fans who want to explore this world that you have no respect or regard to the lore itself, and that you're making a story based purely on what sounds more anti-capitalistic and morally correct, because that's what matters to them. Looking and sounding deep and bold without actual substance. They're taking advantage of people's fatigue under this new world order to make slop media that supposedly appealed against the system. It's funny because this anti-capitalistic morally correct show is delivered by Amazon out of everyone. Amazon people. And they didn't waste the opportunity to sell you overpriced merchandise as well. If you don't believe me on how toothless this is, the show never mentions China by name, not even once. They don't want to lose that sweet pig market. New Fallout is a victim to the very thing it claims to critique, and it's sad. It's the reason we will never get a Fallout set in China or any non-American nation. Maybe the closest thing would be Canada. And to be fair, the Canada scene was interesting, and it could have made better storyline than the inbreeding thing, but well, some writers don't waste the opportunity to poison their media with these fetishes. And these people and their understanding that Fallout is solely and only a commentary on American exceptionalism in capitalism was the greatest disaster to drop on this franchise. For these writers, their only experience with classic Fallout is maybe watching the first game intro, a few Enclave edits, maybe the Fallout 2 intro as well. Now, that's not me saying Fallout is some base strat anti-woke game, because sure as hell it's not. Nor am I saying Fallout doesn't critique capitalism or American exceptionalism in any shape or form. It absolutely does. And when it does it, it's brilliant. But those criticisms of the United States were part of its broader commentary on the old world and the corrupt nature of human beings, rather than a singular focus that is exclusively critical towards capitalism and America in general. Now, it's worth noting that I don't think less of you for enjoying the new media. Personally, I think the show was fun, type of thing you'd watch once and maybe use as a background TV noise once a month. As for Fallout 4, I think it's still great, especially the mods, they're absolute cinema. It's a shame a community this dedicated never gets the quality it deserves. Overall, it's sad to see Fallout turned from a deep philosophical story into a toothless cash grab that tries to appeal to the modern audience. And yeah, that's it. If you agree or disagree with me, tell me in the comments. and thank you for your support on the last video. And yeah, have a nice day.